Alright, let's take a brief tour of our listing input system on utahrealestate.com. There are a couple of ways you can either look at your inventory or begin a new listing. On our home page, we have our inventory list on the right side, and you can move that around, of course, to wherever you like so you can see whatever listings you have. Also, up under listings, if I click on the listings feature, this is where all of my inventory of properties would be for all the different property types. Another spot is under forms. I'll click create new, and this also has another link where I can click on starting a new listing. We put this here just because when people are inputting forms and filling them out, often they want to start a new listing. You can either do that right here, or you could print out the residential listing input form in PDF format as a blank, and then take that to your seller, or just fill that out by hand wherever you need it to go. In this case, we're going to go back to listings, and I'm going to start a new listing by clicking create listing. So in this case, I could start with a previous MLS number if it had been on the MLS before. In this case, I'm just going to start from scratch by typing in a test sales agent. And we'll put in a listing name. I'll call this my video test list. And then click start a listing. And as you can see now, it jumps right to our main input screen. This is just one giant input screen top to bottom where you can start inputting all the information, all the data for this property. Also at the top you can see a description of what we provide on this. Any fields that are bulleted with a red bullet, those are required fields. In this case, for a residential listing, there are 31. And you can always come back later on with an unfinished listing, click on those links, and it'll take you to that particular type of mark, either a link with mandatory fields, errors, or warnings. So if, for instance, I start typing in the data for this property, $250,000, not a short sale, and I'll give this a simple address, maybe down in the Sandy area, 106 South, and it automatically fills in my quadrants. If I also put in my zip code, as soon as I tab off of that, then it will give me a list of cities in that zip code. I'll select Sandy. And this is the one part I wanted to show before we leave the listing input section. As soon as I fill in the address, zip code, and city, then it gives me a Google map so I can go in and actually find the proper location for this listing. So if that's not the exact location, I can click drag, click yes, that's where I want it to be. Make sure that you find the right location for the address of the property on the map before you proceed, so that people searching for your properties will find it correctly on the map. So at this point, maybe I need to take a break, or I'm finished doing what I want to. I'll save this as unfinished. Of course, I can also print this off in PDF format. I'll save this one as an unfinished listing. That listing with that number is now what I can always go back to start over again by clicking that and clicking edit listing. If I'm finished, I could also just give that number to whoever does listings in my office. They could publish, and away we go. Of course, I can also edit listings based on my permissions that my broker has given me. In this case, it shows all the possible permissions for editing a property, from edit the listing, which will take me back to that edit listing page, changing photos, open houses, adding or changing a property tour, a status change, and of course a fairly new feature we've added called uploading listing documents, where you can upload PDF files to a listing. These would be visible only by other agents or brokers, and those documents are visible either in a full report, confidential, or in a medium report. If I want to edit photos, if I click that, now what I can do is come into this property and change any of these around, and make whatever I want to be, say, a primary photo. I can just click and drag, move those around, edit those so I can put some information about the description of that photo, and upload more photos. Very easy to upload. Of course, you can upload as many photos as you want for any listing. There's no limit on that. So let's, in this case, I'll forget all these changes I made to this, and it takes me back to my edit listing screen. Well, that's all that I wanted to show in this brief tour of our listing input section on utahrealestate.com. Make sure that if you have any questions, you can certainly call our main number and then contact tech support or a member of services to get more information about questions or suggestions about our listing input or a particular property. Don't forget, we went up to listings to start a new listing or to access our inventory. We also went to forms to find that as well. But that's all we're going to do right now. Good luck, and make sure you contact us anytime.